Hey, what's going on? My name is Jacob Paul with Inside Out Online. We're going over the CAGED system, and this is a series of videos. If you haven't watched the first ones, definitely go and do that. We're going to learn to start applying the CAGED system and practicing moving those chords around. We're also going to learn a couple new notes. Since you've watched those previous videos and practiced the concepts, let's go over a couple things that we've memorized, no problem. You know that this is a G note up top, 3rd fret, A, B on the 7th fret. When we go to the 2nd string, we have a C note, a D note, and an E note. Now, let's start by learning some new notes and understanding the musical alphabet a little bit better. Even if you understand and you've heard of sharps and flats, just go ahead and hang out because this is good stuff to discuss. We're going to discuss sharps and flats real fast because how are we going to apply these shapes up the neck if we don't know how the musical alphabet works? The musical alphabet goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it starts over at A again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It goes in a circle. After G is A, like we have memorized. G, what was after that in the next step? A. So, what's between those two notes? That's where the sharps and flats come in. I'm going to go over this stuff kind of quickly, so if some of it makes sense, that's great. If some of it goes over your head, that's fine too. But sharps and flats, I think of it, and this is just a way to as a guitar player, if you're not traditionally trained or whatever. Sharps, what one sharp is one way can be a flat looking the other way. This is what I mean. This note can be called, this one on the 4th fret between the G and the A can be called two different things. If I'm looking over here, I see this A, and I would call this an A flat. Think of the A like a tire, and it just went flat. It just went down. Listen how that A just went down in pitch. Ba, ba. The tire got deflated a little bit. Flat. That's what flat means. Flat means one note lower in pitch from whatever letter that is. Okay? Flat. Down in pitch. I call that down. I know everyone disagrees. They say this is down. I call that down because the pitch goes down the further that way you go. So let's look at another flat. We know that the 7th fret is B. The note behind that is flat. That B note went flat. Okay, flat. So when you see that flat chord, let's say you need a B flat chord. You're gonna be like, oh, I know where B is. If I flatten that note down one and I build my chord from there, maybe the E shape because it's a super common way to build a chord. Now I'm playing on the 6th fret, a B flat chord. You just learned how to make a B flat. When have you ever made a B flat? Maybe you have, I don't know. I don't know you. You just made a B flat chord. 6th fret, one note flat of B became B flat. B went flat. We said this was A flat. I'm building A flat chord using my E shape on the 4th fret, A flat. Now we mentioned sharp. What one is sharp is the next one flat, okay? In most cases. So I might be looking at this and I'm like, there's an A. Well, that's an A flat. And then Timmy over here is looking from here and he's like,
well, there's a G. That's a G sharp.
G sharp. And I go, no, it's A flat. And Timmy says,
no, that's a G sharp.
And I say, no, that's an A flat. And we argue for 4 days. But we'd both be right. This note here could be called a G sharp, or it could be called an A flat. Just depends on what key people are choosing to reference from, are different factors. Again, one person might be like,
that's a G sharp.
And I'd be like, no, it's an A flat. Same note. So this chord on the 4th fret, when I built that major shape from it using the E shape, could be called a G sharp chord, or it could be called an A flat chord. Whoa.
G sharp,
A flat,
G sharp,
A flat. Same thing. Let's apply it to back to the 6th fret. B flat, B flat, A sharp. This is an A sharp chord or a B flat chord. And that's going to apply to a lot of these. So let's do the same thing on the 2nd string. All right, we have these 6 notes memorized, these kind of more natural notes, G, A, B, C, D, E. What are these between ones? Okay. We got D here and we got C here. I'm like, well, that's a D flat. We took that D and we flattened it. It went lower in pitch. Da, da, D, D flat. And then Timmy over here, Mr. Argumentative, goes,
that's a C sharp.
and you know what? We're both right. Okay? Could be called a C sharp or a D flat. With me? What if we wanted a C sharp minor? So we have these descriptors describing where the chord is and what type of chord it is. Where it is that flat and sharp thing, right? We either go flat or sharp of that note that it's saying. And then the chord called for a minor. So we learned from the last video, this is how we make a minor shape, building from our A minor shape somewhere else. When I go to that C sharp note, not C, but C sharp, C went sharp. Think of that tire got more air in it and it lifted up more. That tire got more air in it, right? It lifted up, it's sharper. Just use your imagination, the tire got sharp. I build the minor shape from it, now I have a C sharp minor. What else could we have called this? Or could someone else, Timmy over here, what could he have called it? Mr. Argumentative. He could have called it a D flat minor. D note, D flat. Minor shape, D flat minor. Let's go to this 6th fret real quick. We know what these 2 notes are on the 5th and 7th fret. We know it because we have it memorized. It's no problem. That's an E note, 7th fret, 2nd string. D note. What's that middle note? It's an E flat. Timmy over here. D sharp. E flat. No, D sharp. Let's build a minor chord there. We just made an E flat minor chord. E flat minor. All those descriptors. We have to consider all the descriptors as we build our chord. How about just E flat? Well, this was E on the 7th fret, 2nd string. When we built that A shape, built from our A shape, our A major shape on the 7th fret, E flat. Bring that down in pitch 1 note, E flat. No, D sharp. You're right, Timmy, it's a D sharp. E flat, D flat, A flat, E flat, D flat, A flat. You with me? So really what we've memorized is all the notes kind of within these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets here, and all the notes between. So let's kind of go over this. G, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat, C, 2nd string, 3rd fret, C sharp or D flat, D sharp or E flat, and then E, right? E. You can build minor or major chords. Maybe take some time and go, okay, I'm gonna play a C minor. I'm sorry, C major. Major, 1, 2, 3, flat. C minor. Whoa, now we know a C minor chord. You can play a C minor chord if you know that that's a C note, and you build the minor chord there. It's a rainy day in Arkansas, if I haven't mentioned that. Bring it up 1/2 step. I get a C sharp minor. That makes me nervous. I'm doing this for you, man. You know, you gotta be practicing. Don't, you know. Where was I? D major, D minor, E major, E minor. How did we from the last video? We're thinking from the last video because it helps to keep saying it and going over it. G major, top string, major shape, G minor. These are the things that you should be going over. A major, A minor. When I was learning, I wanted to know these things. I wanted to be ready if I was ever in a situation with other players and they said that I needed to play a certain thing or whatever. I wanted to have the tools to be able to do that. Not only to know maybe an open position version of those chords, but maybe to bar those chords and play different shapes and different kind of colorings on those same chords. I assume since you're here, you have that same desire to understand the neck in the same way. Minor, major chords. I mean, those are the two fundamental types of chords. Minor, major, right? Yin and yang. B, major. B, minor. Take the second finger off to make the minor shape on the top string. How do we know that? We slide it and we look at it in our open position. We go, E major had that note in it. When we want it to be minor, we took that note off. Minor. Same thing applies. B major, B minor. Okay? So in this video, we're continuing to talk about minor and major shapes in the E position and the A position. Minor and major shapes, minor and major shapes. And we also talked about how sharps and flats work. In the next video, we're going to expand our neck both down from here, down, I call that down. I know it's different. And up from here. And in the meantime, you got to practice these shapes and practice understanding the other thing we talked about, which was how the sharps and flats work. I hope I don't die in the meantime. If I don't ever come on this videos again, then just know, I was doing my best, and I'm going to see you on that next video. My name is Jacob Paul with Inside Out Online. Peace.